Body count, the number that is the root of all evil in the world today, and probably the reason women shouldn't vote.
She thinks that women shouldn't be able to work.
Did you know that if all women had their body count written on their foreheads, the conflict between Israel and Palestine will come to an end?
I think 99% of the world's problems would be solved if females walked through life with their body count on their forehead.
Exactly. And when this subject is discussed among this kind of people, it is used to highlight the state of female promiscuity. As it turns out, these women are not sleeping with men whose body count is so enormous that they've lost count of it. But male promiscuity is not the problem, you see. Men want virgins, and women prefer men with STDs and 4 or 5 baby mamas.
Whereas a man, if he sleeps with a bunch of chicks, doesn't matter, who cares?
It is just nature, okay? It's primal, it's how we've been wired. Men are conquerors, while women must be conquered.
It is in us, just in us.
As a man, what age should you consider getting married?
35 years old, had slept with at least 50 women, 100K per year, you're in shape.
But then complain that you can't find virgins to settle down with.
Non-virgin women cause all of the world's problems.
See, I'm not oblivious to the inevitability of double standards for men and women even when it comes to promiscuity. Men and women are different, and as Matt Walsh pointed out, promiscuity is a masculine temptation that looks terrible when seen in a woman.
Feminine flaws in men are always going to be worse than feminine flaws in women. It is a flaw for a woman to be crude and vulgar and to run around hooking up with random people and taking pride in her sexual conquests.
I'm daddy.
You're daddy.
But even worse, it is a masculine flaw. And masculine flaws will be more repulsive in women than they are in men.
He makes a good point that I do not deny or disagree with. What I disagree with is writing women off due to their past. I don't think a reasonable man would consider one factor in deciding who to spend the rest of his life with. Nobody is a complete set of green flags, and a woman isn't damaged good because she has slept with 136 men.
Do you have a sense of how many men you've slept with?
Like 136, I think.
136? Okay.
Yeah.
Nasty. Secondly, let's say at 35 you meet her and she's a completely different person. How does a man unsee all this? These women are not going to come back from this. It's insane.
Obviously, some people don't agree. Pair bonding is difficult for a woman with a high body count, they declare. She's more likely to divorce the man.
CDC did the study on this. I mean, the more premarital sexual partners you've had, the greater likelihood of infidelity, the greater likelihood of reporting relationship dissatisfaction, divorce, STD, more difficult time pair bonding.
Just find stats from andright.com to confirm the argument while ignoring the fact that the same can be said about promiscuous men, or that the stats about a group of people doesn't determine the reality of each individual in that group. If Nigerians have a 60% chance of dying before the age of 50, it doesn't mean that I have a 60% chance of dying at the age of 50. This is the fallacy of division. It occurs when you attribute something true of a group to each individual in that group. Not all with a high body count are incapable of pair bonding, especially when they've left the hookup lifestyle for a very long time. One thing we know about human nature is its ability to heal, recover, and be restored. Granted, there are irreversible damage a person may not fully recover from, and there are incurable diseases, but having a high body count does not fit into any of those categories. I'm not giving people a license to dabble into promiscuity with the hope of abstaining much later in life when they want to get married. Instead, I'm offering hope to people who have made a bad, terrible mistake.
You know, people make mistakes.
But that's something guys like this, and this are omitting in their message if they can be accused of having any.
Started with adult content when I was like 9, and then eventually it got to a point where like I was 19 and I got kicked out of my house because I was like bringing over 6 dudes a night. Like it just was never enough. Enough was never enough.
When I watched it, I saw an example of a person trying to turn a new leaf, a message of hope and possible redemption regardless of a promiscuous past. But the host saw it as an opportunity to hammer down ridiculous talking points.
Low maintenance?
Yeah.
Low maintenance? You're not a traditional woman.
You know?
No. It's women have dating on easy mode compared to men.
No.
I mean, who cares about any of this? You've talked about it in the last 40 shows. Aren't you tired of repeating yourself? And the reality is that's all these people can talk about. They're experts in pointing out problems and leaving a truckload of gloom and doom in their listeners. They offer no message of hope or redemption. Look, the number one problem facing young people today isn't a high body count. It is hopelessness. And these people are contributors to this problem. They tell broken people that they can't be fixed while exploiting their brokenness. It's an industry that profits from magnifying gloomy realities. They tell men and women that they are doomed and shouldn't even try. Women are 304s who can't make good wives, so abandon marriage, sleep around, have multiple baby mamas, and leave the earth worse than you met it. Jesus encountered people like this. They brought to him a woman caught in adultery who they wanted to stone to death. Like the content creators today, they didn't see it fit to bring the man. The woman was committing adultery with herself, obviously. And Jesus, sniffing their hypocrisy from 1,000 miles, told them, "Let him who is without sin be the first to cast a stone." And one by one, this crowd of hypocrites began to leave, and what was left was Jesus and the adulterous woman, whom he told, "I don't condemn you. Go and sin no more." The truth is, everyone deserves a second chance, and life will give you multiple second chances. You can start over. There is more hope for a tree. If it is cut down, it will sprout forth again and grow new branches. The same applies to you, regardless of your body count.